Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, NASCAR Rally Auto Parts Series. Race number 20 on the season at Chicagoland Speedway. The return to Chicagoland. First race since 2019. Alright, in those 19 previous races this year, I am 13-3 on my picks for the O'Reilly Series, 7-6 in the Truck Series, 13-7 in Cup, and then IndyCar 7-3, which 40-22, which is 64.5%. All right, the Cuervo 300 miles, 200 laps, 3 stages, 45, 45, and 110. Typical fuel window on these intermediate 1.5 mile tracks is about 60 to 63, so no pit stops needed in stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 3 at 110 laps, obviously you're going to have a few caution laps to start, so around 105 or so. You're going to need pit stops. Probably split it right in half. Save some for green right finish that way. Now, in the prior 24 races, this is race 25 at Chicagoland for the O'Reilly Series. In the previous 24 races, between 5 and 7 caution flags for 9 of the last 12. Max was 8 and minimum was 3. So, of the last 12 races, between 9 of those had between 5 and 7 cautions. You know we're guaranteed 2 cautions for the stage breaks, so we're going to have 3 to 5 other cautions. Now, the fact that this track hasn't been raced on in 7 years, I don't know how it's going to race. I know a lot of people looked at practice yesterday and thought we know exactly what's going to happen. Unfortunately, we don't, because it rained a whole lot after that. So it's a completely green track when they take it to it today. I know O'Reilly's got practice today. Cup has qualifying today. Then the O'Reilly Series race tonight, or this evening. The last 9 races at Chicagoland, 6 times the winner started in the top 5. With practice being rained out yesterday, they decided to set the lineup based on the metric, and then what was supposed to be qualifying today will be a practice, which I actually liked when they do that stuff, because I think we need to have practice over qualifying. I think that'll give the team a better chance, because in the last 10 races, Junior Motorsports has won 6 of those, Hendrick Motorsports 2, Richard Childress Racing 1, and Joe Gibbs Racing 1. Now, we talk a lot in the Cup Series about Toyota and how they're dominating this year and how they must be cheating, or they because of the lawsuit. Explain to me why Junior Motorsports is able to win 7 races and no one's saying a single word about them cheating, or a single word about anything. People are just like, oh, cool. I'm not saying they are. I don't think they are. I don't think Toyota is either. But it's just mind-boggling how Junior Motorsports has won 4 of the last 5 and 7 of the last 10, and no one's saying a single word about anything with Chevrolet in that series. But we'll regress here. Now, again, with qualifying being rained out, they went to the metric. So the front row is going to be Connor Zilic and Brent Cruz. Carson Quapple, Corey Day on row 2. Row 3 is Parker Retzlaff and Jesse Love. Row 4 is Anthony Alfredo, Sheldon Creed. Row 5 is Sam Mayer and Sammy Smith. Chase Elliott in the 88 for Junior Motorsports starting 11th. Because the 91 had a great run last week with Carson Quapple, Myatt Snyder starting 12th. Austin Hill starting 16th. Justin Allgaier with issues last week is starting 17th. Let's see, anybody else is back in the field. Taylor Gray, who just recently signed an extension through 2027 with Joe Gibbs Racing, starting 25th. And then Brandon Jones and Justin Allgaier, the 2 that did the tire test a few months ago at Chicagoland. And Brandon Jones is starting 29th, all because of the metric. And 32nd is Roger Carruth. He's in the 32 for Jordan Anderson Racing. So we'll get 38 cars. We're going to take the green flag today for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Cuervo 300. All right, with no stats, obviously, current drivers have not raced at Chicagoland. We're going to look at the, quote, cookie cutter intermediates to get our stats. Vegas, Kansas, Texas, and Charlotte. Similar tracks, basically the same tire from Goodyear, 1.5 mile, dog-shaped oval. So In the 25 races, again, this is since 2022, Connor Zilic has an average finish of 7.0. Jesse Love, and I know he's not been around the entire time, just that's where it falls. Jesse Love 9.0, Austin Hill 9.2 and a win, Justin Allgaier 10.4 and 2 wins, Brandon Jones 11.56 and a win, William Swalowich 12.5, and Sammy Smith 13.45. And I know average finish doesn't always tell the full picture of what happened. Somebody could be running second the entire day, blow motor, finish 38th. It looks like they finished 38th. So that's like the stat of average running position. So this is how the average position they were in on the track the entire time they were in on the track. So if they basically let every lap, blew up, finished last, their average running position, because they were running, is going to be a lot different than their average finish. So on the average running position for all those races in the last 25 of those 4 tracks, Connor Zilic 5.69, Justin Allgaier 6.37, Austin Hill 8.73, Brandon Jones 9.01, Jesse Love 10.0, Brent Cruz 10.93, and Sammy Smith 12.78. Now, that's a big sample size. We're going to small this down a little bit. Go look at just the last 9 races. Same 4 tracks, Las Vegas, Kansas, Texas, Charlotte, but now 2025 and 2026, the last 9 races. Jesse Love, 6.33 average finish. Connor Zilic, 7.0. Austin Hill, 9.22. Justin Allgaier, 10.44 and a win. Sammy Smith, 11.77. William Swalowich, 12.5. Brandon Jones, 12.55 and a win. Average running position for those 9 races. Justin Allgaier 4.61, Connor Zilic 5.69, Brandon Jones 8.57, Jesse Love 8.63, Austin Hill 10.29, Sheldon Creed 10.85, and Brent Cruz 10.93. Now I went ahead and divided that down a little bit more and just went to 4 races so far this year. So 1 each race at Vegas, Kansas, Texas, and Charlotte. And then when we get to the next one, this will be added in there in part of the whole gamut of these 1.5 mile, because Chicagoland is similar to those tracks as well. Obviously, Homestead is a 1.5 mile, but it's just a little bit different banking. The way the race runs is kind of different, so it's not kind of included in this. It's more just those kind of standard 1.5s. I know Atlanta also is a 1.5. Again, it's completely different than what Homestead is than what these tracks are. So the last 4 races, so just the 4 races so far in 2026. Jesse Love, average finish of 9.25. Justin Allgaier, 9.5. Sheldon Creed, 10.75. Sammy Smith, 11.25. Connor Zilic, 11.33. William Swalowich, 12.0. Austin Hill, 13.5. Average running position in those 4 races this year. Justin Allgaier, 4.37. Jesse Love, 8.36. Connor Zilic, 8.48. Sheldon Creed 8.57, Brandon Jones 9.44, Brent Cruz 10.93, and Sammy Smith 12.53. Now, as we look at the points, 19 of 24 races for the regular season, so 5 races left until we get to Darlington and start the chase, the 9-race chase for the championship. Justin Allgaier with 5 wins leads the way over Jesse Love by 207 points. Now, to put that number in perspective, the most points that you can earn in a weekend is 76. And if you start the race, you get 1. So the most points you can gain in a race is 75. So 2 races is 150. He's got a 207-point lead. So basically, Justin Allgaier could take 2 weeks off and not race. And Jesse Love could dominate both of those races, get every point possible, and still not take the points lead. Corey Day minus 213 with his 2 wins. Sheldon Creed 1 win minus 216. Austin Hill with 2 wins minus 247. Now, when we get to the chase for the championship, that is going to be a reset, but it's not a complete reset. Here in 2026, with this new chase format, they have new points. They have a predetermined point system. So what we're going to do, once we get, let's see if I can find it here. It was online at one point. Just for the Cup Series. I know people don't like the fact they're going to do a reset and all that good stuff, and they bring up the past, but you know what? The past is the past, so let's not talk about the past. So it's going to be the same reset for everybody in each series, I'm saying. Okay, here we go. So, first place, we'll start the chase with 2,100 points. So, Justin Allgaier will start with 2,100 points. Second place, like currently, would be Jesse Love. We'll start at 2,075. So, Allgaier would have a 25-point lead. Now, the way Allgaier's ran, he's going to get the point lead back up before. I know a lot of people are like, well, he's got a 207-point lead. That ain't fair. Well, you know, here's the thing when it comes to that. Would you, and people argue this all the time, it's kind of funny, would you rather see him win the championship with 2 races left or have a competitive at least for a few races? So as it stands right now, if we were to just carry the season on, probably by Talladega, which is 2 races left, Martinsville and Homestead, Allgaier would win the championship. Now, think about it from a fan's point of view. Some fans, the casual fan. I'm not talking the hardcore, diehard, I don't miss a lap fan. I'm talking about the casual fans. Oh, their championship is done? They're still racing? That's weird. Not like they play the Super Bowl. After the Super Bowl, they don't play football games. After the Super World Series, they don't play baseball games. That's weird. Translate that to people. Yeah, you can't. I agree with it. I agree with not having full season points because of the fact that when drivers win early, it kind of changes TV, changes everything. Again, my opinion. Anyway, so right now to the cut line, Justin Allgaier plus 387, Jesse Love plus 179, Corey Day plus 173, Sheldon Creed plus 170, Austin Hill plus 139, Carson Kvapil plus 137, or 132, excuse me. More than likely, those 6 will definitely be in the chase. Sammy Smith plus 106, pretty safe. Brandon Jones plus 101, that's a race plus. He's fairly safe. Parker Redsall plus 61, so outdriving his equipment. Viking Motorsports is looking so great, and I love the fact that they had top 5 runs, both cars, at Sonoma. And you had Chris Rice on Door Bumper Clear this week talking about how happy he was for him because they bought a lot of all their cars from Colic, and those 2 cars that they ran at Sonoma, AJ Allmendinger finished top 5 at Sonoma with both of them. So I thought that was super cool. The fact, he's overdriving his equipment. I hope Parker gets a top tier right. Not saying Viking Motorsports isn't good. To me, Viking Motorsports is kind of that tier 2 team. The tier 1 teams is literally RCR, JRM, and Joe Gibbs. Then you get a bunch of tier 2 teams there. Sam Mayer plus 38, Brent Cruz plus 21. This bottom cut line has been just like this all season so far. Remember, Brent Cruz missed 4 races because of age. He does get a waiver for that, so he is playoff eligible, or chase eligible. Taylor Gray with a win plus 20. William Swallow with a win minus 20. You literally have 3 JGR cars fighting for 2 playoff spots here. And then you got Roger Cruz minus 26. I believe he's in the 88. After this week, for the rest of the season, I think, maybe 1 or 2 races he's not, but for the most part he is. So I think he'll kind of bring that up a little bit since he's not jumping back and forth between Jordan Anderson Racing and Junior Motorsports. And then Ryan Sieg minus 46. All right, what are we going to do for picks for the Cuervo 300 NASCAR Rally Auto Parts Series race? Well, got to go with the hot hand. Got to go with the teams that have been winning. Got 2 Junior Motorsports cars and 2 Richard Childress Racing cars. Jesse Love and Austin Hill representing Richard Childress Racing, and then Connor Zilic and Justin Allgaier representing Junior Motorsports. 4 Chevrolets, by the way. Unique how Chevrolets winning all these races in the O'Reilly Series. I know Ford doesn't represent anything in the O'Reilly Series, but Toyota does. Junior Motorsports is winning everything. Could they be cheating? Is that how they're doing it? That'd be weird. Anyway, we know Jesse Love is leaving next year to go to the Wood Brothers in the Cup Series. We don't know if Austin Hill is going to take over the 33 for RCR in the Cup, or if he's going to stay in the O'Reilly Series. Now, what I can predict, or not even predict, but just my brain thought process would be Hill returns to the O'Reilly Series next year full time in the 21. He does a partial schedule in the 31, which is another number that Childress has used over the years. We have Austin Dillon run full season in the 3 car next year. And then whomever is in the 33, Josh Berry, I think would be a good option. But with the thought process of in 2028, the 3 steps away, Austin Dillon retires, goes into the front office to run RCR. Richard Childress takes a step back. The 3 becomes the 29 again. The 29 with Noah Gragson, got past Pro Shop, they got a connection from the past. The 31 full-time with Austin Hill. If they run whoever the O'Reilly guys is in a few races, they'd be in the 33. If Austin wants to do a few races part-time, he'd be in the 3. That way you got 2 full-time chartered rides, the 29 and the 31. You have your just for Austin Dillon and or any Earnhardt, Dillon or Earnhardt, they get to 3. And then anybody else would be in the 33. That's my thought process would be with that. Then next year you add maybe a Parker Retzloff, maybe Anthony Alfredo come back to Richard Childress, and they take over the O'Reilly Series and kind of build the O'Reilly Series as kind of the future there. So that's just my opinion. But the 4 picks to win the Cuervo 300 at Chicagoland: Jesse Love, Austin Hill, Connor Zilic, Justin Allgaier. As always, thanks for watching the Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great day, have a spiffy day. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports show content.